Hello again. I heard someone over here say, didn't see that coming. Let me tell you, I didn't either. So, Mayor, thank you, sir, for this opportunity to lead some of the most honorable men and women that I've had the privilege of working with in the past. I also want to say thank you to my dear friend, the prosecutor that's here, FOP, leadership. I also want to say thank you personally to Dr. Richardson that's here from IUPUI SPIA, and Mark Lawrence, the director of the IU Public Policy Institute. They have been my employers for the last 6 months, and I certainly have a great deal of respect for them and the men and women that work in their organization. I also want to say thank you to Chief Hyde. I want to say thank you to him for the work that he's done in this community. I consider him a friend, and I consider him a lifelong friend, and I'd certainly want to say thank you to him, and I'd be remiss if I didn't. Also, before I get into my remarks, my wife, Kara, is here, and my two boys, David and Caleb. We talked as a family last night when the mayor graciously made this offer, and I will tell you that they were certainly in favor of this, and I certainly appreciate their support, especially Kara's over 26 years of being together and also serving in public safety, so I want to say thank you to them. Now, obviously, I've been in an administrative role for a couple years, so you haven't known me as a police chief. You haven't seen some of my visions as a police chief. So I'm going to share a little bit of it with you today because I think this is important as we get to the business of making this city safer and leading some of the greatest men and women I've ever worked with. Is that I believe that every police department in America really is established for three basic principles, three basic goals that they have to have in mind. Number one is to reduce crime. Number two is to reduce the fear of crime. And number three is to enhance public safety. Now, while that's easy to say, it is extremely complex to do it the right way. How do we reduce crime as a community? Well, there's a couple things we need to do. We need to be a department that talks about community policing and makes sure that it's a philosophy and not just a program. We need to be a department that if we're going to be serious about reducing crime, understand that crime is underreported 30 to 50% across our nation, and we believe the same numbers are here in the city. We have to make it easier for citizens to report crime. Don't be surprised if you see some minor crime type numbers go up. That'll be a good sign. That means people are getting involved. How can we use data in a way that is manageable if we don't have the basic information? So we're going to make it easier for citizens to interact with their police department as we reduce crime. We're also going to reduce the fear of crime. No one should live in our nation, and no one should certainly live in the great city of Indianapolis and be fearful for their safety. No one should have to stay at home at night because they're afraid of going to the local grocery store, because they're afraid of their safety, or afraid of leaving their belongings at home. And we also need to attack that fear by giving individuals in our community the information necessary so that they can look for those crimes in their communities, report those crimes, and actively participate in making this city a safer place. And then the last is enhancing public safety. We live in a great city that brings in tremendous amount of conventions. We have the largest one-day sporting event in the world. How do we ensure that those continue to be safe in an ever-changing world and ever-changing dynamics? How do we make sure that as a community we're looking to the future with Indy 2020 and looking at the 10 great destinations? How do we ensure that those areas will be policed effectively and they'll be safe? But I also want to make a couple of commitments, if I may, for just in closing. One, to the nearly 1 million residents that call Indianapolis home. I will commit to you that your police department is going to be open, it's going to be transparent, it's going to be receptive, and that we're going to work with you to reduce crime in this community. I also think it's important to say that we're going to work harder, smarter, and in partnership to deal with the complexities that a major modern city in America deals with. And that job starts today. The second thing I'd like to say is to the brave men and women of IMPD, civilian and sworn, that it's going to be great to be part of an organization where honor and commitment still mean something. I want to thank you for your service. I want to tell you this, though. I will expect excellence. I will expect integrity. And let me be clear, if you work hard and you're doing what is right and honorable, you will have my full support and, more importantly, the support of the great citizens of this community. And personally, I just want to say this. To Mayor-elect Hogsett and the community, You're entrusting me with a great deal of responsibility, and Mr. Mayor, to the community, we will certainly not let you down.